One of the ways we talk about being with someone in loving presence is we refer to this attitude of attention without judgment, this welcoming and even appreciating way of paying attention to someone. And I've often said that the antidote to judgment is curiosity. There's a big part of loving presence that is open and spacious and even curious. We're seeing things about the person's experience, the person's present experience, the indicators of how they organize experience, and it can make us very curious about their life, about their other strengths, about the past experiences they've had, about what kind of child they were, about what they might expect from us, about what might be possible out of this kind of exploration. It's fascinating, and this attitude of curiosity really is not possible to have if I'm making decisions and making judgments. One of the practices that we use in the beginning parts of our training and throughout is a practice called listen without deciding. And it's a way of watching. The intention is to listen to someone speak without deciding anything about them and without making judgments about them. But what it allows us to do is watch all the decisions and judgments that show up by themselves. And when we're conscious of them, like anything, when we're conscious of it, we have choice around it. So it allows us to let go of some of those judgments, and then we get curious. Then we're in the realm of mystery, and where we don't really know what's happening for the person or what has happened or what will happen, but we can stay very, very curious. At some point in time, after body-centered psychotherapy was written and published, with those 5 principles that I named: unity, organicity, mindfulness, nonviolence, and mind-body holism. At some point after that, Ron Kurtz realized that another principle of this method, the way it has evolved, is this practice of loving presence. And another principle we identified, and it kind of goes with the mindfulness principle, is experimental attitude. This staying curious, staying spacious, staying open, staying fascinated with how things will unfold and what wants to happen. This is fundamental through the whole process of Hakomi. It's not just part of the particular experiments we do with a person to help them discover something. It's an attitude we hold. It's part of loving presence. It's part of this spacious, open, curious way of being with someone that lets us avoid making judgments too soon and deciding and collapsing the possibilities. This experimental attitude is one of the basic principles of the way we practice Hakomi. There's a wonderful story that the Buddhist teacher Tara Brach tells about a gentleman who was a mindfulness teacher, but in his later years he was developing a little bit of dementia, and he would have episodes of losing his memory and not having an awareness of where he was or who he was. It would only last a few moments, but it was developing and becoming more of a problem. But still he was being invited to various groups to teach them about mindfulness and meditation. And apparently in one group, he was up at the microphone talking about mindfulness and leading them in some practice, and then was in the middle of telling them something and had one of these episodes, one of these blank spots where he just absolutely lost his realization of where he was and who he was and what was happening. And his practice kicked in, and he didn't know what he had been saying or what he was supposed to say next. He just started naming present experience and forgetting, uncomfortable. I'm not sure of the words that he used, but he did that for a minute or two. And then his memory clicked in and his consciousness clicked in, and he realized, and he actually began to apologize to the group that he was talking to about that. And then they reported that it had been the most profound teaching they'd ever had. The power of that practice of paying attention moment to moment without needing to know anything other than what's happening right now. Imagine the complete sense of loss that you would have if that was sustained. In Hakomi, we actually have a practice called groundlessness, or I don't know, where we let go of the answers to things and let go of the need to know and see if we can hold a state of mind that's open and spacious and comfortable with uncertainty and with not knowing. And the practice of mindfulness and this experimental attitude helps us to do that.